We will start as usual with the warming. Then, before meditation, we will do trataka. I will remind you a little bit about how to practice trataka, and then after trataka, we will continue with the meditation. And after meditation, we will speak about yantras. So let's start. First, we will close our eyes, straighten our back, we relax, bringing the mind into the here and now, being aware of the sensations in the body, of the emotions, of the thoughts, of the energies. We bring our hands to the chest in Anjali Mudra. In this way, we bring our awareness in the middle of the chest, a little to the right, that place that we point to when we say I. From there, we embrace everything with love, kindness, and compassion. We offer our practice to the benefit of all sentient beings. May they all be happy, may they all be wise, may they all be kind to each other, may they all discover love and happiness. We also offer our practice to that discovery of the mystery of existence, of being without being someone or something, God seen as the essence of our being, as the essence of the world. And now we let our hands down and we will do a few warming exercises to prepare our back for the meditation, for concentration and then meditation. So we will start with the rotation of the head. We let our chin down, rotating the head to the right, slowly with awareness. And now we change direction, rotating the head to the other side, again slowly with awareness. And now we relax, being aware of the sensations in the neck, a gentle warming, a subtle vibration. We continue by rotating the shoulders up to the back, bringing the shoulder blades together, down to the front. We move slowly with awareness, trying to get rid of all the tension in our bodies, trying to feel good. And we relax, being aware of this opening of the chest, relaxation in the shoulders. We continue with the stretching to the side. Inhale, raise the arm. Exhale, stretch to the side. Inhale, raise the other arm. Exhale, stretch to the other side. We stretch with that pleasure that we have in the morning, with that intensity and relaxation. And we relax now, observing the relaxation in the back muscles, the stretching of the body. And we continue with the twisting of the spine, rotating to the left, stretching a bit, then to the right, stretching another bit, again without forcing it, just to feel good. And we get back, relaxing. And now we are ready to begin with Tratakam. I will remind you a bit about how to practice it. So we use a candle that we keep at the arm's length, yeah, like this. So usually the flame will be around the forehead, so like this for me. But at the beginning, if you didn't practice a lot of Trataka, it can be a little bit hard on the eyes because you have to look up, and this looking up, uh, it's a bit hard on an eyes, but it's like in that kind of crossing the eyes, so it's uh, it's better when you are experienced. But at first, you can lower the flame about where your nose is, like this. So if you look a little bit down. This is more relaxing for the eyes. And it's easier to stay for a longer period of time at the beginning. So uh, if you already practice this, you can do it higher. If you didn't practice this a lot, then it's easier if it's a little bit lower. So, like where your nose is. In the image, it looks like it's a bit down because the camera is up and the angle is a little bit down, but it's around where my nose is. Yes. This is where the candle will be placed. It's best if in the room there are no uh, currents of air, so the flame will not flicker, but it's not a big problem. Usually, we will start by with the eyes closed and centering into the heart. Uh, in the Hatha Yoga books where they speak about tratakam, they speak about it like you can practice tratakam together with Shambhavi. If you remember Shambhavi, Shambhavi was like looking out but keeping the awareness in. Yes. So what we will try when we do trataka is concentrating, focusing the eyes on the flame, but in the same time keeping the awareness of the heart. Is like imagine that your heart is looking through your eyes to the flame. Yes, it's not like just concentrating with the eyes, but in the same time keeping the awareness of yourself. In this way, is not just about uh, concentrating, but it's also about self-awareness and, uh, if you want, hridaya. This brings a deeper meaning and understanding into trataka, because for sure you can just practice it like a concentration technique, just look at the flame without moving, without, and you saw in the quotes that we did last time, they say, look until tears appear in your eyes, without blinking, without closing or opening the eyes, but keeping the awareness of the heart. Then you will see it. It is a bit. It is a bit easier because you are not so contracted and trying to just keep your eyes open. You are also present in the heart. So, uh, in short, we will center into the heart, opening the eyes, look at the flame, keeping the awareness of the heart, and try not to blink. Try not to close and open the eyes as long as you can. If your eyes start uh, to hurt, then slowly close your eyes. Keep the eyes closed until the unpleasant sensation disappears. Then open again the eyes. You will see at first you will close and open the eyes a few times, but as you remain more and more into the heart, it will be easier and easier to keep the eyes open. Uh, Another element is not to open the eyes very wide. So don't keep the eyes very wide. Try to keep it a little like you look through your eyelashes. It's like a bit so half high eyes half open. Yes, in this way, this hurt in the eyes will take a little bit longer. The hurt in the eyes, the pain in the eyes, it's because the eyes are drying. So this is the reason that you look until tears appear, because you start to have to cry like to cry, to have tears when your eyes are too dry. Yes. So this is the way. After a while, after we did this, usually it's recommended to practice it like 10 to 15 minutes. But as you become more accustomed, then you can do it like 30 minutes. Um, it's better to practice it in a room that is not very well lit. Uh, it's daytime now, so you cannot do it now. We cannot do it proper. I have the lights open so that you can see me, and I can record it in a well uh, manner. But if you can, uh, make a little bit of uh, darkness. So in this way, your eyes will not be so attracted to all the things around, and it will be easier to concentrate. But for sure, uh, don't stress about it. You can practice it later in the darkness, or um, again, it can help to have a background that is without too much distraction. So now, for sure, I have the screen in the back of the candle, but when you practice alone, put it on the with the background of a empty wall, or a curtain or something, so that there are not too many distractions for the mind. But for sure, after you practice a bit, then will not matter that much. So, are you ready? Let's get to practice. So you can light your candle if you didn't light it until now. And look at the flame just above the black area. You know, it's a little bit, the flame is like a triangle with a bit of black in the middle. So look at the most intense or luminous point of the flame. In the middle of the flame, yes, is the most luminous, is the lightest point of the flame. There you focus your uh, gaze. Yes. But like I said, we will start with the eyes closed, centering ourselves in the middle of the chest, a little to the right, in that gateway to the reality of the self, of our spiritual heart. We try to be aware of that I am feeling, of that pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss. And now gently open the eyes, looking at the middle of the flame on that most luminous point where there is the most light. Try not to blink too much. Try to keep your eyes open. When the eyes hurt, just close them for a while and then open them again. When you have the eyes closed, try to visualize the flame, keeping in this way the practice of trataka with the closed eyes. After the eyes are relaxed, you can open them again. Don't forget to keep your awareness into the heart, to that I am feeling. It's like your heart is looking through your eyes to the flame. If tears appear in your eyes, is a good sign, so don't be afraid. It's quite natural. And now we close our eyes, keeping the awareness of the heart. We continue with the Hridaya meditation, having the mind relaxed and calm and quiet and still. We ask ourselves, who am I? The mind cannot answer, the answer being the existence itself. So we ask the question, we are the answer. Who am I? keeping the awareness of the spiritual heart, that pure I am feeling. We slowly open our eyes and conclude our meditation. If you have any questions regarding Trataka, before we move on to yantras.
Just one doubt, maybe. Um, we perform trataka and shambhavi at the same time because it makes the meditation deeper, and when I felt it, that it was very much deeper, wider. That's what I felt. So why do we use this technique? Purpose is to have a deeper meditation.
The Tratakam has many purposes. In the old books, it's about purification. It's one of the six traditional techniques for purification, Shat Karma Kriyas. And the purification, it's on the one side for the eyes because of the tears, but on the other side is a purification of the mind. Why is that? The goal of concentration, when you want to concentrate, is to have one thought, one object in your mind. So this means that anything else in your mind is excluded, disappears. So this we learned Trataka because we were in the dharana concentration phase of our explanation. But for sure, in the books, when they present Tratakam, they also speak about the fact that you can use it in uh, together with Shambhavi, because Shambhavi it's just keep the eyes open but the awareness in the heart. So combining the two of them help us on the one hand to focus the mind, but in the same time to uh, remain centered. Uh, like we said when we spoke about Shambhavi, it's a good practice to keep this awareness of the heart when your senses are active. Because usually, when you meditate, you try to isolate yourself from the world. And it's not it's not a natural state. You are not naturally insulated from the world. Yes, when you exist in the world, you interact with the world around, with the objects, with persons, and such. And usually, because of this, you lose your centeredness. You lose your centeredness into the heart. And during the day, you almost completely forgot about Hridaya and centeredness. So practicing Shambhavi, meditating with the eyes open, help you to uh, learn how to keep the awareness of the heart when you interact with the world. And combining it with tratakam, you learn to keep your awareness and be focused in the same time. Don't be distracted by all the things that happens around, because usually what happens in the day-to-day living is that your mind is attracted and distracted by different things. You see something and turn your head around and look, and then your thoughts are concerning what you see. I don't know, you see a cute dress, and then you think, oh, how I be if I have that dress, and how it, and for sure you forget about anything else. So for this reason, these practices are good uh, in a way that help us to learn how to keep our awareness even when we look up at a dress on the street. So it's not that we cannot look at something that we like. The problem is when we forget about us in the process. Yes. So this is about remembering us even when we interact with the world. Sure, even this process is like insulated from the world because it's just the candle flame or a yantra or something, and is not very distracting. But learning how it feels to be focused and centered help us to remember during the everyday life. In Buddhism, they meditate with the eyes open for this reason, to learn how to not be distracted by what you see or how or what your senses present to you. But for sure, it's much easier when you are in a quiet place with the eyes closed, with I don't know, smelling good around, not something unpleasant, in a good temperature, not too cold, not too warm. It's much easier to focus. But then this is not natural. It's not a normal thing that happens in your life. Your life is much more diverse and agitated. So it's good to learn how to navigate the life with this centeredness. It's like looking with your heart, not with the mind. I hope it helps a bit to understand better.
I think it was because of the purification of the mind that I felt that the meditation was deeper.
Yes, for sure, for sure. and and the fact that when you have fewer thoughts, it's much easier. You remember what we spoke about in the beginning of this series of lessons, when I told you that the best definition of meditation is that Patanjali does in the beginning of Yoga Sutra. He says uh, yoga is the cessation of the mental willing, then the seer is in his true state, in his true nature. So the meditation is quiet the mind, see what is beyond, see what is your true nature. Yes. So every time we succeeding in quieting the mind, we have this chance to look deeper into our hearts, because the thoughts and uh, everything that our mind does is hiding our true nature. Like, so for this reason, any practice, any meditation technique actually follows this two-step approach. Quiet the mind, find the modality to quiet the mind, then ask yourselves who you are. Yes, sure, is not like put in these words. Yes, in Buddhism they say, okay, shamatha, or yes, first shamatha, quieting the mind, then vipassana, insight. But the insight means who you are. For sure, in Buddhism, you are nothing. Yes, in yoga, you are everything. But nothing and everything are quite the same at the top of uh, the experience. And you will see, if you analyze any meditation practice, you will see the same pattern, the same model. Quiet the mind, look beyond. And this quieting of the mind uh, can mean different things. Yes, in Buddhism, quieting the mind is like having no thoughts, just be aware. Awareness, mindfulness, like it's called in Buddhism, is this being aware of what is happening without uh, conceptualization, without uh, putting it in thoughts. But in Patanjali's yoga, it's called ekagrata, one pointed mind. So focus focus the mind in on the one object. And for Patanjali, this is also quieting the mind, because he speaks about when he says uh, vritti nirodha, cessation of vrittis. Vrittis are not having no thoughts, but having no moving thoughts. Yes, because usually our mind is moving in circles. We start with a thought, then another thought, then another thought, then another thought, and usually we get back to the first and make these kind of circles. I think I explained that at the beginning how it works with that simple example. You come home from the work, yes, and you go home and you are a bit hungry, and you think, oh, in my way is a pastry, or I don't know, bol de cac, or something, and you think, oh, I want that, and you remember, oh, the last time I eat that thing was with my friend, I don't know, and then what is my friend doing, and you forgot about that. You start with the hungry, you are hungry, but you think about your friend, but then your stomach remembers you, oh, you are hungry, maybe I will wait until I get home, but what is in my fridge? I have or not have something to eat. Maybe it's better to go to do some shopping or and another circle. You see, is this is the way that our mind functions, doing these kind of circles. When you are focused, you just keep your object of attention in your mind without thinking it, without judging it, without analyzing it. Just keep the object in focus. So when we do trataka, is about this. We have the candle flame and we just keep the flame in our mind without thinking about, oh, it's too yellow, it's too blue, it's too high, it's too short. It's not about thinking, it's just keeping the mind, or keeping the flame in the mind. And this process is important because when you succeed in experiencing a thing without thoughts, something very special happens. Uh, we skip a bit now. So the dharana part, the concentration, is trying to keep the object in the mind without the stories about the object, just the object. Yeah, usually uh, when you start the concentration, you try to have a story about what you do. Yeah, and your mind says, I am looking at the candle flame and I have to keep my eyes open, oh, not to blink, and a lot of things about what you have to do. And maybe your mind slips away and you start to think, oh, my eyes are hurting, maybe I have to go to my oculist or my doctor to see if something is wrong because my eyes are hurting in and more that maybe it will discover something about my and a lot of things about this. But then you remember, oh, just a minute, I'm practicing trataka, and get back to the object. And maybe then you notice something about the wall beyond the flame and start to think, maybe I have to renovate or paint the wall or something. And then you remember, I have to focus. And this is the process of concentration. Your mind goes away and you bring it back. But when the concentration starts to function, it's just the flame. You don't have to think about it, you don't have to keep your mind there because it's just the flame. From this point on, we call it meditation. When you don't have to make any effort, the flame is so alive and it's so full of consciousness that your mind cannot go anywhere else. It's like just the flame exists in your mind. So when this appears, so just the flame and without any other thoughts and without effort, and is I don't know how to describe it uh, well enough. It's like you are intimate with the flame in this case. It's like it's your lover. When you are in the presence of your lover, you cannot think about anything if you are in love. Yes, after a while, maybe you can think about other things, but when you are so much in love, you cannot think about anything else. You are just vibing with that. It's a bit like this. It's like you fall in love with the flame, and it's so fascinating. It's so intimate. It's it's in a way like you are intimate with the flame. It's like an embrace, if you want to. Your mind cannot go anywhere else. There is nothing else for the mind in that moment. And this is the meditation. This is the moment when you can say, I meditate. So even if we use this tratakam as a concentration technique, when we actually start to be concentrated, we actually start meditating. I want you to understand that all these phases are not separated one from another. So it's like each one is uh, having all the other before it. So when you are concentrating, you actually sit in an asana because you are not moving and stay firm and relaxed. You are doing pranayama because your breathing is quiet and stable. You are doing pratyahara because your mind is here and not uh, distracted. So you actually have all the things before. So after you master concentration and your mind is in this kind of falling in love with the object of your attention and have this kind of intimate relationship with that object, then you actually are in the meditation phase, but as also you maintain this concentration because your mind is not distracted. And when the difference between the flame and you disappear, you cannot say I am looking at the flame. It's just one reality, then you are in samadhi. So this is the process of uh, yoga of Patanjali. Sure, samadhi has some steps in it. There is samprajnata samadhi at first, then there is asamprajnata samadhi. But very simple put, this is the process. Yes. So if if we refer this process in the Hridaya meditation case, the concentration phase is when you ask yourselves, who am I? Yeah, who am I is the concentration phase. You try to discover what being means, what is this I in who am I, but your mind try to describe it in a way. Yeah, discover what it is, this thing that I am. For the mind, it's important to find it. Yes. So at first, when you ask yourselves, when we ask ourselves, who am I? The mind try to find an answer. I am this. Yes, I am. Uh, I don't know. Even if we say I am consciousness and bliss is just a conceptualization, if we don't feel that we are consciousness and bliss, it's just a thought. So usually when we ask ourselves the question, the mind try to answer. But the answer is just a thought, is just a philosophy, is not the actual answer. Yes. But at some point, you start to feel. You start to feel how it is to be. But it's like a gradual process. It's not like you suddenly are sure. Sometimes maybe sudden, but usually it's like you become subtle and subtle and subtle and subtle. It's like at first maybe you think, oh, but I am this body, and then you think, wait a minute, but I can observe this body. Then I am something much subtler than the body because there is someone that is observing the body. And then you think maybe I'm this more subtle thing. Usually it's about uh, discovering this uh, existence as energy. You feel that you are vibrating. Sure, we know that this vibration is an expression of spanda, but you feel it like an energy, and you are like a sphere of energy without the usual form of the body. Then you are something more subtle, like a thought of existence. And then you are more subtle, like a light, in Vijnana Maya Kosha, it's this kind of sensation that you are light and purity and clarity. And then you feel that you are happiness. And all these are like uh, coverings of the self because they are still something. You can still observe something that you think you are. I don't know, it makes some sense, but uh, it's like you still think or observe that you are something. As long as you observe that you are something, you are not there. Yes, because you can feel, oh, I am a sphere of consciousness, I am light, or I am bliss, or something. As long as you can define what you are not there. Yes, you are still an object of your awareness. But at some point, you cannot define what you are. Yes, that is the moment when the actual meditation starts. I know it's a bit disappointing, but that is the moment that meditation starts. When you cannot define yourself, when you cannot say, I am this. And that moment when you cannot define what you are, it's very strange because that moment you feel so much alive. It's like suddenly you understand what it means to be alive. It's like comparing to the moment before you are asleep or just a robot. Yes. And this aliveness, which in a way is that spanda, is that tremor of the heart, become so intense, so powerful that your mind cannot think about I am this or I am that, or it cannot define or describe in any way this existence. For sure, when you come back from meditation, you can tell a story about it, like I am doing now. But in that moment, is just this intensity of being. And again, like I said, is like falling in love. It's you cannot think, you cannot describe. It's just pure existence. And you see these words that are so cliche in a way, pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss, in that moment have a lot of meaning because you understand them not with the mind as a concept, but as living them, as being them. So that is the moment when meditation starts actually in Hridaya. And for sure, when you dissolve your uh, feeling of I, because even if you are in that uh, way, you cannot describe, you still think that you are uh, an I, uh, in a way which is so much subtler. You think still that you are someone. You are not something, but you are someone. And when this someone dissolves and there is just existence without I, then you are in samadhi. There are for sure a lot of steps in between. It's not like very clear defined borders until here is that, until here is that and that. So it's not like you feel like you're stepping a ladder or something, but for sure it's like you do a spiral, yes, because you start with the basic things, who am I, and then you start to feel that I am something, and then that something becomes more clear that it's a something that then you think, okay, if I can observe it, maybe I'm something more, and then you detach from that and focus on that more subtle thing, and this is a circle. Then you focus on this more subtle thing, then you discover that you are more subtle than that, and you make another circle, and then you and you see, like, you step back and step back until you cannot make any movement at all. But each step is like, you can define it like a meditation in itself, yes, because you focus uh, uh, it's like, let's put it like this. At first we focus on the body, yes, this is our object of concentration. I am the body. But then you discover that this body is just exterior for you. And then you have a next object of concentration. And then this dissolve and you have, so in a way, I don't want to for you to think that the meditation is only when you are in that very high point of pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss, because you have uh, different levels in which you can do this kind of meditation until you get a step uh, beyond. Let's not go up or down, but beyond. And I think Yantra will remain for the next lesson, because I think this helps you to have more clarity about the process of meditation, and for sure, I think when you look on your past meditation, you can see moments of what I told you, because uh, if you meditate enough, for sure you have this kind of intuition and understanding. So if you have questions, all this was starting with why we do trataka, uh, and again, in the classical yoga, it's about this: concentrate, meditate, samadhi. Yes, concentration means stopping the mind without thinking. Meditating is the naturalness of not thinking, and samadhi is dissolving all in unity. And for this reason, this part of dharana, dhyana, samadhi, this higher part of yoga, it's called antaranga, the inner yoga. All the other parts are somewhat exterior to this, because they are about the external world, even if we do it inside. So pratyahara means bring the senses in, but this means that the senses are out, so we have to bring them in. But from dharana, we do this internal yoga, and in Yoga Sutras, they are quite separated. Patanjali speaks about uh, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara in the second chapter, and then about dharana, dhyana, samadhi in the third. the opening of the third chapter, which is called Vibhuti Pada, the chapter about the powers, about uh, supernatural powers, is starting with the definition of dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. And then the rest of the chapter, it's about how these three together are are called samyama, which we usually call it identification, but it's this kind of knowledge from the inside, like an intimate knowledge. And like I explained it to you, when we think about the flame, yes, uh, it's like you know how to be a flame. It's not like you know about the flame. It's like you know how it is to be a flame doing this samyama. Yes, for this reason it's called identification, because you know from the inside. It's like, uh, again, comparing with a lover, you know a person in a way, but you know it in a different way when you are in love with it and make love with it. It's an inner knowledge. So in a way, samyama means that discovering the world from the inside out. And Patanjali says that this brings uh, different kind of realizations. Uh, if we think about the flame, you know how to be full of light, or to be uh, to burn or something. Yes, because you know how it is to be this. And all the third chapter is Patanjali giving examples. If you do samyama with the power, you will become powerful like an elephant or something. These kind of examples, because you understand the things from the inside. Yes, and yeah, I think we get a few steps further than now, because we will speak more about dhyana and samadhi, and explain different stages of samadhi and such. But the simple, to put it simple, is like this. So if you don't have questions, I wish you a good evening, and see you next week. Next week we will speak about yantras.
Thank you, Sebastian, very much. I wish you all a beautiful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.